Remington Miller.
And I'm Kiara Bradford.
Welcome back to Friday Frights. So Friday Frights is a podcast that focuses on Arkansas, like spooky legend, folklore, ghost, and we get together every Friday in October to swap stories. So Kiara, you have a story for me today?
I have a little bit of a story for you, Remy. Are you ready?
I'm so excited, please.
Are you ready to hear about a abandoned ghost town within a town here in Arkansas?
I love a town within a town. Okay.
Town within a town, but it's abandoned. It's a ghost town. In the 1800s, when Calico Rock area was kind of settled, it was originally named East Calico. And it started out as a trading post for French traders and trappers traveling the White River. So we're back to the White River again.
I see a theme with you.
I know. So basically this area was kind of known for the trading, like I said, but they also had established the railroad, and they also mined zinc, timber, cotton, things like that.
I'm hearing lots of like connection things to bring people together, but you're saying it's abandoned?
It's industry. Oh, yes. So it's abandoned. But in this time, there was also, because there were so many travelers, there was numerous taverns to cater to these people, and this place became home to various thieves, vagabonds, and other troublemakers indulging in things like prostitution, brawling, knives, and gunfights.
Of course, because if you can have nice things like industry, everything else follows.
Of course. And eventually they were also known for having local moonshine.
I love that for them.
I know. So it had the nickname of Pepper Sauce Ghost Town. Or, yeah.
Are you even a town without your own moonshine?
Apparently not. But yeah, they would have places called the Pepper Sauce Alley, which had different taverns, like I said, where a lot of rough housing was going on. And it was just not the best area. But yeah, so actually we have our own ADG article back in 2021 about this place.
Okay, so kind of recent-ish.
Yeah, recent, where they basically talked about the buildings that are still there. So yeah, basically there was like some partial collapse of the cotton gin, and other parts of the area started being more booming in industry, and the train stopped kind of running. It then became the only authentic ghost town within a city limits of a town in America.
Oh, wow.
That's the tagline of
I love
article.
that. And what, I'm so sorry, I might have missed it. What city is like Calico Rock in?
Calico Rock. Like it's Calico Rock in Izard County today, but this area is kind of known as East Calico Rock.
Okay, still in Izard County, so it's okay. I got it now.
A town within a town. It was like the original Calico Rock, and then it kind of branched off, or the Calico Rock as we know it today kind of branched off into that, into what we know. So we have some buildings also in this place that you can still go see. So this place, East Calico Rock, or Pepper Sauce Ghost Town, you can go see it today. You are allowed to go do walking tours. It's not particularly haunted. I know we're doing haunted stuff on this show, but I thought it'd be fun because it's a ghost town.
I mean, I still think it is kind of haunting to be like, people were like living their whole lives here, and now there's like just buildings. I think that is kind of scary.
Yeah, they're owned by somebody, but they do let people do walking tours, and there's only one building you can actually go inside of, which I'll talk about in a second. But the rest of them,
I was just about to ask. I was like, so nosy. I said, what building?
You can't go inside of all the buildings. There's one building you can, but like for the rest of them, they just ask you not to trespass, but you can just walk in it
for safety reasons, I would imagine.
So we've got a former movie house that was destroyed by a fire in 1951. There's At Hall's funeral home that has a red door that is very notable. People always know the funeral home with the red door. I saw a lot of pictures, probably pop up a picture. And it has a post. All of these buildings have little posts, of course, with like little histories. And it says, in the 1920s, the mortician and his wife lived in the back. He ran off, but she continued to operate the business for the new owner, Mr. McGuire. In the 1950s, Roman and Wilhelma Howard lived here and ran the business for owner Lawrence Hall. After the mortician embalmed a body, the family would lay out the deceased at home for viewing.
I don't know if I could, like, I don't know if I believe in, like, working where you live, but also I definitely not as a mortician.
Not as a mortician. I can't, but I respect anybody who does.
I don't know. I feel like imagine inviting someone over for tea and they're like, "Where do you live?" "Oh, the funeral door." With
sorry,
the red,
let's
door.
pass these coffins as we go to my parlor for
my
coffee.
laid out best project yet.
Yeah. Oh God. And the building you can go inside of is the old city jail, which apparently was popular. It was bumping.
I've heard about everything happening there. I imagine it was the place to be.
It was bumping back in the day. So it was about the size of a storage shed and was used about till the 1950s. Obviously, you see a pattern with the 1950s. It's about when they, packed it up and left. Yeah.
And moving on.
It often held persons accused of public drunkenness or disturbing the peace, but most arrests were for fighting. Anywhere from 2 to 20 people might join the melee. Weapons including fists, knives, axe handles, baseball bats, or guns.
They were creative and resourceful. But also, can you imagine being like, I was publicly drunk, sorry guys, and also there's 20 melee fighters in here in my storage shed with me.
They put the pepper and pepper sauce.
For real, yeah.
Fun fact, the town marshal in the 1940s, according to another sign, was William Luther Harris, also known as Greasy Slim.
Greasy Slim?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you always have the most interesting names when your stories?
Whitey, Greasy Slim. I got more next. The nickname came because the eccentric vagabond was all greased up from blacksmith work. He avoided bathing or washing his clothes, and once a year he bought a new shirt and a bib, overalls.
Once a year?
Which he just put over the old ones.
No, he didn't.
Mm-hmm. And he slept on a cot in the grease mill or on the floor of the jail. He made his life's work his life. You just said, like, sleep where you work. And he said yes.
He slept in what he worked in, it seemed. I really admire people who are like, I'm going to commit to saving and not having excess things. That might be too far. I think that frugalness might have... Why not bathe? Like, so what do you want to save money on the shirt tradition? Why not?
I would say, I tried to give an excuse to say it was the 1940s, but it was the 1940s. We had good running water and stuff like that. So I'm not sure.
I guess he was proof that be yourself, and I guess people will think about you.
People gave him a nickname, Greasy Slim, and he said, I got to keep up my reputation.
I guess so. I mean, commit to the bit if you're going to go big or go home.
So that's really like Calico Rock, like not haunted, but it is funny to think that we have a ghost town within a town, and you can go and walk in it.
Sounds like a fun October thing.
Yeah, in Izard County in Calico Rock. What was once a booming railroad town, but also a place where frequent drunk vagabonds
lots of
frequenting
fighting. Yeah, I imagine there's probably a lot of history there.
Apparently the Shed jail was very popular back in those days. And so was pepper sauce, also known as moonshine.
Wow. I feel like this was like a good like informational one. I feel like I actually learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for telling me about that.
I thought it was fun.
Heard of it.
Yeah. I had never heard of it before I started doing research. I thought it was fun. I was like, let me bring a fun one. And then Remy, you tell me something that'll make me scared.
I do have a bit of a scary one today.
Oh, I'm ready to be scared.
So, I like that. We kind of picked this where it's like, kind of like not necessarily like super ghosty, but like paranormal, like happening. So today, I want to tell you about the Gurdon Light.
I've kind of heard this, but like nothing about it, to be honest.
So, I mean, on one hand, like the name kind of sounds like explanatory, but it's a mysterious light that was seen above the railroad tracks near Gurdon and Clark County. That's in like southwest Arkansas, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes from us in Little Rock. I don't know if you know, but like I always provide that information about like how far away these things are, just in case.
Just in case you need to watch out.
Listen, you never know, and it makes me feel a little better to know that there's a little distance here. So the light was actually first seen in the 1930s, according to the Encyclopedia of Arkansas. And witnesses say that a mysterious glow appears along the path of the old railroad track about 4 miles north of Gurdon, not far from Interstate 30. The light apparently sways like back and forth about 1 to 3 feet above the ground, like moving down the old train track.
Yeah, you said this is a train track. Could it be a train?
No, I mean, it's only one light, and I would assume the train wouldn't. I mean, a swaying train might not be a good sign.
You never heard of the train swings?
You know what? No, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But also, it sometimes appears to be yellow-white, but also orange-red, and then kind of like a bluish-white. And it appears in all kinds of weather, and according to a 2018 article from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. And from what I've read, this kind of became a thing for like young people to do like near Halloween. Like they go out to these train tracks in Gurdon and try to see the light.
Okay.
Sometimes people even hide like nearby and kind of like pop out to scare people who are like coming to look for the light.
Oh, okay. Y'all don't have enough to do.
Right. A stranger popping out at me would definitely like scare me. And I do kind of wonder, like when I read that, I was like, I wonder how the next 60 seconds of that interaction goes. To be like, hey, gotcha. You were looking for the Gurdon Light, and I, a random person. Gotcha.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would probably scare me a little bit more than the light, not gonna lie.
I think, in the middle of the night, I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, but some people are actually scared of the light itself. So they say the light appeared behind them and chased them down the track. Other residents say they have seen more than a simple light. They say they saw what appeared to be a ghost, the article from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette said. Now, people have several theories about the Gurdon Light, from like what it is to why people see it. So I have some theories for us to discuss.
Okay,
I hope you're ready to put on your thinking cap, okay?
Oh Lord.
So some people believe that the pressure on the quartz crystals underneath Gurdon causes them, like the crystals, to let off electricity and produce the light.
Okay, so the quartz crystals on the ground.
Right, underneath Gurdon. So I'd never heard of that before. And so apparently there's this thing, okay? Stay with me as I try to pronounce this. Triboluminescence. The scientific definition describes triboluminescence as the emission of light caused by the application of mechanical stress to crystals or by the fracture of crystals. In simple terms, solids produce light when stressed or fractured, such as being like scratched, crushed, and rubbed.
Yeah.
So if like quartz can be like compressed down and they're kind of underneath the ground, I could kind of see like that happening, where it's like maybe you're seeing a light and you're moving and it's dark. Maybe people have scared you already. And the Encyclopedia of Arkansas says that the pressure on the quartz crystal underneath Gurdon may cause them to let off that electricity and produce light. So like maybe it is like a weird scientific phenomenon,
I guess, but like, I mean, I'm not a scientist. I am not a scientist. We work here at a paper, but like it's far, right? Like it's a few feet above the ground.
Yes, I do think also like it may be like I have not been, so it would not, if there's like rock formations like maybe like kind of like mountainy or cliffy, like maybe like you're looking off at the distance and you see like something random light up, and I mean, who would think the rocks are lighting up? Like I will give you that. Like I would not be like, obviously that's the rock, guys.
Yeah. But I'm not a scientist, so I won't say hi or ho about that. So
right, no, I really was like triboluminescence. I'm getting into but yeah, so that's one theory, is that you're seeing quartz crystals like light themselves up because of the pressure of just kind of like sitting under other quartz crystals. Another like, I guess like common as in not paranormal explanation for the light is that it could be the reflection of headlights. Gurdon is near Interstate 30, like just east of like on like I-30, just east of the interstate on Highway 67. So the idea is that the reflection of headlights is what catches people's like attention. But there is like some doubt to this theory, because the site where people typically kind of see the light is more than 2 miles from the highway.
Yeah, and you said it's just one light. So like,
I mean, I guess maybe like you're seeing the light come through. And I will say some of those LED headlights, I'm not saying I'm like their like biggest hater, but I am a little bit. I hate being blinded when I'm just trying to go through my day.
You have been warned.
Right.
You know who you are.
So like maybe like I would say like if maybe like something like that was like shooting way over. However, another thing is like people also began seeing the lights several decades before I-30 was built in the 1970s, when people started like seeing it in the 1930s.
Creepy.
So, I mean, I can't say for sure there weren't random cars going through the woods before the interstate was there, but, I wasn't there. But, I will say there seems to be reasonable doubt if you're going to try to find an explanation for the Gurdon Light, that maybe the headlights, maybe that's what it is now, and maybe it was quartz crystals, maybe it's everything. Maybe maybe the Gurdon Light is what we want it to be. But there's still another theory.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm buckled in.
So we've heard quartz crystals, headlights from I-30. Others believe that swamp gas creates the light.
What do you mean by that?
So swamp gas apparently can form wherever stagnant water coincides with the decay of organic matter. I'm not a scientist also, but from what I've read, these gases is they kind of form when the material is breaking down, they create kind of a light as a reaction, when they kind of start moving, and
So you telling me it's stank air?
Well, it's swamp gas. I don't know if it stinks, but it probably does have methane in it. I would reason that, but the idea is that maybe sometime near there is people are seeing these it probably doesn't. I would reason that it probably doesn't set off a whole light, which is why people only see this Gurdon Light really well at night. Is swamp gas might put off just enough light to be what was that? And they can create their own kind of light as a reaction, and it seems this theory is a popular explanation for other kinds of mysterious lights, like will-o-wisps. That's where I kind of started reading about it, because it mentions swamp gas a little bit on Encyclopedia of Arkansas, and I said, what is swamp gas? Yeah. Why do we think this could be the light? But it seems that kind of reaction is what they think they could possibly be seeing, which would kind of explain why people report different colors, because I don't, maybe it depends on the matter. I don't know.
I guess. So the lights might be stank air. That's what I'm calling it now. I don't know if it's stank. I'm sorry if it don't. But that would be so funny to me.
And so the Encyclopedia of Arkansas also said that this is a somewhat popular story, that there is a legend about a railroad worker who was working outside of the town one night, and he accidentally fell into the path of the train and was killed. Since then, his head was severed from his body. Cool. Many locals say that the light is the lantern the ghost uses while looking for his head. I couldn't really find much more about if that really happened, if that actually occurred.
Sorry, that got dark real quick.
Right. Well, I saved the scariest possible explanation for last.
I believe that one then.
Oh, we have one more.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Is there a scarier one? For last.
Oh no, I thought that was it.
Yeah, no. It is also believed that the Gurdon Light can be traced back to a murder that took place near the railroad tracks in December 1931.
Okay.
So, William McLean was a foreman with the Missouri Pacific Railroad, and he was involved in an argument with one of his employees, Louis McBride. Lewis, I'm not really sure. I think it might be Louis. Regarding how many days McBride was allowed to work. Apparently, during the Depression, the company didn't have the option of giving him more hours on the job.
Because it's the Depression.
Right. But when you're trying to feed your family and you have a job, but your job isn't enough, that's tough. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette article quoted another article that was written by the Southern Standard, reporting that McLean was killed by McBride, who was 38 years old. No one witnessed this murder, but McBride acted so suspiciously that he was arrested, and eventually confessed, according to the article. He then told investigators where the body and a spike maul, the murder weapon, were located. Apparently, McBride became very angry and hit McLean on the head with a shovel and beat him to death with a railroad spike maul, or a spike hammer. The Southern Standard article reported, this is a little graphic, so I'm going to warn you. It's not too bad, but it is a little grisly.
You've been warned.
Right. There was a trail of blood nearly a quarter-mile long, indicating that the section foreman was near the railroad when attacked and had run from his assailant. Near the point where McLean is believed to have died were other signs of a struggle. It was also indicated that he was left for dead. He rallied and tried to leave the woods, and the back of his head had been struck 4 severe blows. And it was included in the article that throughout the struggle, McLean never let the lantern slip from his grasp. The Gurdon Light was first like seen shortly after this murder. It's 1931, 1930, and many have come to believe that like the light is actually McLean's ghostly lantern glowing.
They're really sticking to this lantern part of it.
I mean think about like how you would hold like a lantern out, I
guess it would make sense on why there would be a light there, but it's like two different stories where it's talking about a lantern,
Yeah, I was doing my like research for this episode like in the dark, and like the reading for it, and I had to turn on every light in my apartment after that. I don't know if I could go looking for the Gurdon Light.
I wouldn't, but like that's me, and I have TikTok, so.
Yeah, but those are the theories. So which one?
Well, you're asking me which one.
Yeah, I did the research. I did the research. You tell me which one you buy the most.
Honestly, I'm kind of like I'm a skeptic of all of them. Like, I have to be a skeptic on the ghost ones, of course, because like we don't know. But I mean, the science ones, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not sure. But I can't say whether or not. I don't know. I'm gonna go with stank air.
You think it's swamp gas?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that it is I think it is like a kind of an interesting phenomenon that right after a murder happens, when like different people start reporting seeing that light.
That is kind of
and like
crazy.
Maybe that was like what they wanted to see. Like I said, maybe the Gurdon Light is what we want it to be. But like I do think that's interesting. I also, at least I could find like triboluminescence is a thing. So like maybe it is the rocks. I don't know.
Honestly, that's my new rap name. So.
Triboluminescence.
Yeah.
Good luck for that. Honestly. But yeah, that is the Gurdon Light. So quite a bit different. I didn't return to anything this time. It was a very different experience than the Fat Monster.
Well, my bad. I went to White River twice. Like, sorry.
Right. Do better in episode 3. Do better next Friday.
All right, Remy. So we just told some really kind of spooky, weird stories today. We went back to White River, Izard County, to talk about the Calico Rock ghost town. And we also went to Clark County to talk about the Gurdon Lights. And I am spooked.
Absolutely. And that's all we have time for today. But please be sure to tune in again next Friday for 2 more pieces of Arkansas like legend and folklore.
All right.